the safe area.
Good morning, agents, and welcome to another daily episode of Target Loot today for November 4th. The series that shows you the Target Loot map, farming tips and tricks, vendor reset highlights, and much more. I'm Agent Shadow, and if you enjoy my content, please consider pressing those subscribe, like, and share buttons below. In the pinned comment below, there are links to join my Discord, my Shadow Crew clan on all platforms, and all sorts of ways to support my channel, but we'll cover that and more at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get started with the Dark Zones first, and the highlights from the vendors this week, also your daily reminder, then DC, and then New York City Target Loot highlights last. Alright agents, this is just your daily reminder to complete your weekly SHG requisition for your first exotic cache and your first named item. Second, complete summit on any difficulty for your second exotic cache and named item. And remember, you can just jump in on floor 100 on another group or complete it from 1 to 100. And then lastly, your weekly legendary mission, which this week is District Union Arena. Really easy legendary mission to complete with like a turret drone build, and that gets you your third exotic cache. You can do this on 4 characters, so that totals out to what, 12 exotic caches and 8 named items. Alright agents, now we're over here at the highlights for the Dark Zones, and of course we're gonna do the vendor reset stuff. So first off, Cassie showed up today and she has contractor's gloves that are better than the contractor's gloves that are over there in the theater this week. So I would definitely hit up Cassie, just find the snitch. The snitch, usually what I do is I just fast travel to the 1040 safe house, or even better, Jefferson Trade Center. And the snitch is usually right about here. Otherwise, let's get started with the DZ West. So yesterday it was Providence Defense in DZ East. Today it's in DZ West. This is where you can farm for the gift with perfect vigilance. Excellent backpack if you can get a good enough roll on it. Get it with weapon damage, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage. If it isn't a good enough roll than the one you have already with your normal vigilance, then just don't use it, because it doesn't increase your damage. You know, it decreases the amount of time the buff goes away when you get hit. Otherwise, that's it for the DZ West area. Now in DZ South, we got Richter and Kaiser. Nothing that's DZ exclusive to farm for, but in the DZ South, we got the Rail Splitter with perfect accurate. Definitely a good assault rifle, not as OP as it used to be, but you know, if all else, you can just get it as a collectible. And then over here in DZ East, we got the Hunter's Fury gear set. That's the SMG and shotgun builds. I'll put one of my best ones in the top right card right now. Highly worth farming for if you need it. Try to get it with weapon damage and crit hit chance until you hit the cap for crit hit chance, and then go all out and crit hit damage. Otherwise, in DZ East vendor, you can get the Carnage with perfect sadist. And yeah, that's about it for the Dark Zones. All these cost 152 DZ resources. To get those DZ resources, you just got to extract your deconstructed loot from your contaminated bag in the Dark Zone. Alright, let's go check out what we got on the north side. Alright agents, we're over here on the highlights for the north side and invaded missions for this week, so let's do that first. We got Lincoln Memorial, we got Potomac Event Center invaded, then we got Federal Emergency Bunker, Roosevelt Island, and then of course you end up having to do Tidal Basin at the very end. Now over here we got China Light at Camp White Oak. That's great for explosive skill damage builds. Usually just want to run one piece. You got Petrov at Coney Island Ballpark. This is where you're going to go for the contractor's gloves. They give you 8% damage to armor. You can stack that with 2 pieces of Walker Harrison Co. You know, just to keep stacking damage to armor, and also stack it on your maybe assault rifle or whatever your weapon you're using. And there's pretty good builds that can come out of that. We got Aralda Holdings at Coney Island Amusement Park. So you always want to pick up Aralda Holdings that roll with weapon damage, headshot damage, and weapon handling. You know, you want to get like a chain killer chest piece mixed with 2 pieces of Aralda Holding, and 3 pieces, aces and eights, or you can go with the punch drunk mask like I do. And yeah, Foundry Bulwark at Manning National Zoo. So that's the armor region tank build. The only thing that I can really mention here is that the chest and the backpack pieces are raid exclusives for the Iron Horse raid. Otherwise, you can get, the gloves, the knee pads, the mask, the holster. And then Kenley College is shut down, and then the summit, you pick your own targeted loot. So let's go check out the west side targeted loot now. Alright agents, so we're over here on the west side targeted loot highlights. First off, like always, I'm going to get started off with the gear sets. So we got Tip of the Spirit Bank HQ. I don't really recommend farming for this, but There is some niche builds you can run with this on Legendary and Raids, so if you want to know about that, comment in the comment section below, or if anyone else knows about it, definitely comment below and let everyone else know. We got Hardwired at Constitutional Hall, so this is great to run 3 pieces with 2 pieces of Hani Yu, 1 piece Wyvernware for that Assault Turret Striker Drone build, which I'll put in the top right card now. Or you can run 3 or 4 pieces for almost infinite Seeker Mine explosive skill damage build. And then we got Eclipse Protocol in West Potomac Park. This is where you want to mix 4 pieces with the Imperial Dynasty holster, or you want to mix it with the Vile Mask. You know, just run it with the Fire Chem Launcher or the Riot Foam with the Stinger Hive. It's absolute just mayhem with this thing. And yeah, that looks to be all the gear set stuff, so I'll start from the bottom here now. We got Walker Harrison Co. with DARPA Research Labs. This is where you can farm for the Chain Killer chest piece with Perfect Headhunter. Excellent chest piece. The Matador with Perfect Adrenaline Rush is a Dark Zone exclusive, but comment below and let me know if you've gotten that from the Targeted Loot rewards from completing an activity, because I feel like I have before, but I'm not entirely sure. Grupo Sombro at the Pentagon. Now, this is where you want to mix 1 piece with DPS builds, 2 pieces with explosive skill damage builds, and then Hani Yu at Lincoln Memorial. It's invaded today as well, or this week. So this is where you can farm for the Force Multiplier backpack with Perfect Combined Arms. That's an extra 30% skill damage every 3 seconds that you're shooting your gun and landing your hits. You got Overlord at Tidal Basin. This is where I would farm for the Fox's Prayer knee pads. They give you 8% damage to targets out of cover. That's multiplicative damage, the best type of damage in this game. You can run this with or without rifles. It used to be best in slot, and it still kind of is, as long as you're not, running Hunter's Fury or True Patriot builds. You got Badger Tough at DCD HQ, so this is where you're going to farm for the 0F's chest piece with Perfect Unbreakable. Every time you lose your arm, or every 55 seconds that you lose your armor, it just completely refills you to 100% armor. Amazing chest piece, especially if you can get them all red, or just, the armor core with crit hit chance and crit hit damage. We got light machine guns at Roosevelt Island. This is where you can get the exotic Bullet King and the exotic Pestilence. Or you can farm for a named LMG like the Sleipner, the Carnage, the Good Time with Perfect Fast Hands, the new Reliable, Quiet Roar. There's all sorts of them. We got submachine guns at Potomac Event Center. You can farm for the exotic Lady Death and the exotic Chatterbox. If you haven't gotten the Chatterbox yet, I'll put the quest line up in the top right card now for a video on how to do it real fast. Otherwise, I would recommend a Vector variant or MPX. The Dark Winter and the Apartment are Dark Zone exclusives. The non-Dark Zone exclusives you can get from the Light Zone, that's submachine guns, is the Safety Distance with Perfect Outsider and the Swap Chain. We got Douglas and Harding at Downtown West. This is where you can get the Punch Drunk Mask with 20% headshot damage baked right into it. And you want to mix that with the Chain Killer chest piece or the Dodge City holster for some awesome damage. And then we got MMRs over here at Federal Emergency Bunker. So this is where you can farm for the White Death, or the Ekem's Long Stick with Perfect Ranger, or the exotic Mantis. Those are the 3 best MMRs in this game in my opinion. And of course the Nemesis, you have to finish the quest, which we still need to wait for Grand Washington Hotel to be invaded to get the blueprint. Well, that looks to be it for the west side. Let's go ahead and check out the east side Target Loot highlights before New York City. Alright agents, we're over here on the east side Target Loot highlights. Now, I'm going to get started with the gear sets because there's a lot of them right now. Starting off with the gear sets, we got Strikers at Grand Washington Hotel. I just never recommend this. We got Ongoing Directive at District Union Arena. This is worth running 4 pieces with or without the Ridgeway's Pride for a DPS build bleed. So check out Identity's channel if you want to. Great guy, really great guy. And he's put out a few of these Ongoing Directive builds, so I would check that out. Over here we got Future Initiative at Viewpoint Museum. This is a healer build, so you want to run 4 pieces with like a chest piece with Empathetic Resolve on it from Alp Summit. Now, if you've run the Iron Horse raid, because the chest and backpack for Future Initiative is a raid exclusive for the Iron Horse raid, if you've run it and you have the chest and backpack piece, I highly recommend running them. And then we got True Patriot at Jefferson Plaza. Everyone knows, I'll put in the top right card anyway, just in case. I got that True Patriot build that I put out a couple weeks ago that I still use to this day. And it's amazing shredder and tanking of damage. I mean, it just does kind of everything all at once. Yeah, that looks to be it for the gear set, so let's check out from the bottom. We got holsters at Air and Space Museum, so there's 2 exotic holsters you can get. the Imperial Dynasty holster, and the Dodge City holster. Otherwise, you can farm for what's called the Forge holster, which gives you an extra 50% shield health to your shield, which is an extra skill tier to your shield. We got knee pads at American History Museum, so there's 2 exotic knee pads that you can get. That's the Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads, and then of course the Sawyer's knee pads. If you're not really farming for the Fox's Prayer knee pads, I would farm here. Otherwise, you can get the Fox's Prayer knee pads with 8% damage to targets out of cover, but I highly recommend just farming this, and then farming Overlord for Fox's Prayer. We got rifles at Federal Triangle, so this is where you can get the exotic Diamondback and the exotic Merciless. Both of those weapons are pretty good, but I just kind of never really use them anymore, especially with Hunter's Fury and True Patriot builds. But yeah, otherwise you can get a good classic M1A. What I would put is one of the best rifle damage talents on it, which is Boomerang, Rifleman, and Ranger. All 3 of those are top tier, the best damage talents for rifles in this game. We got Bellstone Armory at Jefferson Trade Center, so you can get the Everyday Carrier with Perfectly Efficient on it. The Liquid Engineer with Perfect Bloodsucker does not drop in the light zone, so you're going to have to wait for that to be targeted loot in the dark zone. And then finally, we got Masks at Judiciary Square. This is where you can farm for the 2 exotic masks, which is the Coyotes Mask and the Vial Mask. Now, of course, like I said earlier, farm Douglas and Harding for Punch Drunk Mask with 20% headshot damage. But you can also farm for it here at Judiciary Square, but it would be easier if you just farm Douglas and Harding. Alright, let's go check out what we got in New York City Target Loot highlights, and I will let you agents go. Alright agents, we're over here in the New York City Target Loot highlights, the last part of the video, so let's get it started. At Wall Street, we got shotguns, so of course you can get the exotic Sweet Dream shotgun. I don't really use it that much, or ever really, and it's usually pretty good on skill builds. Otherwise, I would get one of the best 3 shotguns in the game, which is the Mop with 10% armor on kill baked into it, a custom M870, and the Marine Super 90, which would be my second personal favorite. And we got gear system mods at Financial District. You can farm for your, god rolled, mods. 12% crit hit damage, 6% crit hit chance, whatever you're looking for and need. You can farm it on Heroic for your best chance. I probably should have started with the gear sets. I'm going to go now. We got aces and 8s at 2 bridges. So, of course, you can run this 3 pieces, like I said earlier, with the Chain Killer chest piece and 2 pieces of Heralda Holding. So that would be worth farming for. But I personally prefer using the Punch Drunk Mask and other high-end items. And then we got Negotiator's Dilemma at Liberty Island. So this is a great DPS set. It goes well with ARs, SMGs, and LMGs. And I'll put a build in the top right card that utilizes the LMGs. So definitely worth farming for. Sokolov, you guys know, you run it with an SMG build. 1 piece if you're running 4 pieces of gear sets, 3 pieces if you're running all high end. And then we got gloves at Pathway Park. You can get the BTSU gloves, which are the exotic gloves. And then the Contractor's gloves with 8% damage to armor. But if there's Petrov, always farm Petrov instead of gloves. And then lastly, we got assault rifles at the Tombs again. Assault rifles we had already over in DC already, I think. No, we didn't. So assault rifles at the Tombs, you can get the exotic Chameleon. That's highly worth farming for. And then, of course, you can get the Maniac named Military AKM, the Burnout named FAMAS. Now, the best assault rifles in the game are the FAMAS, the Military AKM, the Carbine 7, the Police M4, and the G36 variants. Now, lastly, we got chest pieces at Stranded Tanker. You can get 2 exotic chest pieces, which is the Tardigrade armor and the Ridgeway's Pride. You had to have completed the project first from Summit to actually get the Ridgeway's Pride to drop afterwards, or you can be in a group with someone like myself who has it already and is willing to drop it for you. Don't be afraid to ask, let people know what you're farming for, and they'll most likely happily help you out. Alright agents, well that was the targeted loot for today. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed my content. If you would like to become a member for support and exclusive perks, click the join button below to further support my dream of being a full-time content creator. You can also grab some Shadow Gaming merchandise by clicking the link in the pinned comment and video description below. I got a ton of items to grab up and just lowered the prices across the board. Like I say every video, those prices are lower than probably anyone else's, so definitely go check that out. You can also support me on alt tech like Patreon and Subscribestar. You can subscribe to me to BitChute and Storyfire. I'll put all the links below in the video description and pinned comment, just in case you like to support alt tech. Otherwise, if you're still watching this video right now to the end, thank you. That's truly the best way to support me and whitelist me on your ad blocker. Take care, agents, and be sure to stay tuned for more daily Division 2 content. This is Agent Shadow signing off. I will see you in the next video. Take care, agents.
Take care, agents. Thanks for watching.